In 1985, I met a giant of a man in Reverend Leon Howard Sullivan, a Baptist preacher, a world changer, an individual that never took a paycheck as he did the OIC movement. It was based on faith. Leon is somebody that has inspired me to be at the helm of OIC for 34 years. LaTanya Hill, that sits at the front desk that you saw collecting your money, been with OIC for 35 years because she was inspired by Leon Howard Sullivan, Connie Wilson Collins, Emma Pierce, and Mr. Brooks. That's inspiration. But sometimes, in a town like New Britain, you meet a young man who was born and raised here, graduated from New Britain High School, that makes such a strong difference that when he received the letter, he said to me, "I'm humbled and honored." And my heart was touched. And we wanted to do something different because I've watched this young man for many years. And like Reverend Leon Howard Sullivan, he's an unsung hero. And on that note, we've got a special person that's going to tell you a little bit about our top awardee tonight, Nicholas Nick Jakubowski.
I'm not Nick.
No.
But it is my absolute pleasure and inspiration to speak about my son, Nicholas. It's the easiest thing that any dad has to do is to brag about their kids. I'm going to talk about Nick a little bit, and the Nick maybe some of you don't know, but our family members that are here today do know. Nick did not talk to an adult except for me and my wife until he was 5 years old. He only talked to kids. Maybe that's why he landed where he did now, still working with kids. But he didn't talk to the adults too much, and his preschool teachers and others thought maybe there's something wrong with him. I said, there's nothing wrong with him. Nick was real from the time he was born, and he chose, pick and choose who he wanted to be with and who he wanted to talk to and hang with. As he grew, he realized that he needed to talk to adults in school as teachers and so on, but they were nothing compared to all the friends that he collected all of his life. I mean, sitting right behind him right now is a friend he collected at 8 years old, Roberto Mercado. 30 years ago, Roberto Mercado and Nick were on my baseball team in the Wilicking Little League. And 30 years later, Roberto Mercado is the head coach of New Britain High School, and Nick is his pitching coach. So that shows you the stamina and staying power of New Britain kids and relationships in New Britain. When Nick was about 7 years old, my wife, Aurora, was a founding member of the MOMS program from New Britain General Hospital. The MOMS program worked with moms, single moms, mostly teen moms who were having a baby, worked with them through their pregnancy, and that was Nick's first volunteer work. He was 7, 8 years old, and my wife would bring him to those moms groups. He would spend time babysitting the kids. He spent time delivering cribs and other supplies to families in Mount Pleasant, Malachowski, wherever we needed to go. And he was a volunteer in that program, and a vital part of that program, the MOMS program, 7 years old. Skip up a little bit later, when Nick was a teenager, 14 years old, we told him it's time to volunteer somewhere. You're not going to just spend your time in the house playing video games, hanging out with your friends. Volunteered at the Hospital for Special Care. And he played video games. He played video games with disabled people that were in the hospital, and he spent a lot of time there during the summer doing that. Volunteer work, good community work. Funny thing is, Jason did the same thing. Jason worked in the office though. If you know my son Jason, when Jason volunteered, he worked in the office. When Nick volunteered, he played video games with patients. Those are my boys. So from there, I mean, Nick loves sports, loves music, loved his video games, still hangs with all of his friends from high school, from college, and all other friends that he's collected along the way. And it's not funny, but it's probably proper that he still hangs out at Pathway Senderos every afternoon with a bunch of middle and high school kids. And he hangs out with them in a totally different manner because he's there to inspire. He's there to lead. He's there to show them the way. He's there to show them that there is a future for kids in poverty. And he's there to break that cycle of poverty, which they do every single day in that program. And I couldn't be prouder that that's what he chose for his life work. His mom was a social worker. You know, I was an educator. We always felt that giving back to our community was the most important thing. And to have our sons be in the positions that they're in now makes us the proudest parents in New Britain. And so, Nick, we're proud of you. All the Jakubowskis are proud of you. All of the Bashaulis are proud of you. That's our other family. The Bernals are proud of you. The Rodericks are proud of you. Thank you very much, Paulette, for giving me this opportunity, for telling you something about my son. And Nick, the best thing you gave us is Connie and Joe. Connie's his wife, and Joe's the love of my life, his little 4-year-old son. So thank you very much for everything, Nick, that you've done for our family, for the kids of New Britain, and for everybody that you will impact into the future. So I introduce you now to my son, Nick Jakubowski.
Face the camera, please. Thank you. Congratulations.
100%. Oh man, that was good. That was good. It's okay if I take this off? All right. I'm used to moving around when I talk. If anybody's ever watched me speak in front of kids, I move. I like to move. I like to keep you all engaged. I like you guys to be focused on me. So the easiest way to do that is to keep moving. I learned that a long time ago with kids. First and foremost, Paulette, no words, you know how much I love you, how much I love your program, I love your staff, I love the Hill Sisters, I love Josh. Man, I had Josh in my program when I first started working with kids back at Slade. I mean, so I go back a long, long way. Megan Hill was me and her assistant supervisor. So again, long way with Paulette and the entire OIC family. First and foremost, I got to thank my board because a few years ago, when myself and my partner Heather, when we took over, I was 33 years old. I mean, who gives a 33-year-old a nonprofit organization to run? Who does that? Who does that? My board did that. You know, Rick, Sarah, Roberto, on the entire board, they had faith not only in myself, but in the vision that we had for our program, because they understand that our vision is grounded in exactly what my father said. It's grounded in the ability to help kids, to move them forward, to break cycles of poverty, to break cycles that exist in the city. And so I always want to just give a round of applause for my board and for the entire, and my staff, but especially my board, because without them, we can't do the work. And as Paula knows, as anybody here that runs a nonprofit know, you can't do what you do without your board of directors. So thank you guys very much. I really appreciate that. I have an awesome staff. My partner Heather had to leave early. I have Carol, who is my money lady, who is literally the person that keeps us all in check because she makes sure we don't spend the money we have. But I'm also had the opportunity to work with our guy, my man Jeff. And a lot of guys don't know this, that he doesn't just work for me. He's also one of our grant writers, but he's also one of my best friends in this world. I met him, my dad's talking about how long I met people. I met Jeff 21 years ago on our first day at UConn together, and we've literally been kicking it ever since. I mean, it's the best way to put it. I mean, that's literally my ace in this world. So between him and Roberto, who I coach baseball with, I have about 50 years of friendships buried right there, and they're here today to support me, and I really appreciate those guys for doing that. I'm not gonna be too long. I mean, I could go on forever. I'm used to talking to kids, so I could do a whole program. Yeah, man, not tonight. Paulette gave me the talk. But I just gotta tell you two things. I mean, the first is gonna be an actual story about Paulette that she probably doesn't realize. When I first started working with kids, it was 2002, 2003 school year. Okay, if anybody works in schools, then you go by 02, 03. You don't just go by the year. You know, you gotta put that little hyphen in the middle there. And I was working at Slade. I was the supervisor at Slade. And I remember one day we had this program come in. Someone said, OIC's coming in to do a thing about self-esteem. Can you get a group of kids and go to a classroom? I'm like, yeah, no doubt. I'll go get a group of kids. I can do that, no problem. I do it all day. So I get a group of kids, I go to this classroom. All of a sudden, this woman walks in. I have no clue who she is, okay? And all of a sudden, she comes in, she hands out these papers to these kids, and then she starts talking to them. And I was like, whoa. Who is this person right here? And I sat there and I just sat in the back of the class, and it was this little project about self-esteem, about feeling good about yourself and all that stuff, and I'm like, this is amazing. I went home that day and I remember saying to my dad, I said, Dad, do you know who Paulette Fox is? And he's like, yeah, she's hot. Oh, I can't say that here. But, it's an honest story. And I said, Dad, I'm gonna be honest with you. I said, that's how I want to talk to kids. And it was in that moment back in 2002, 2003, that I was inspired by Paulette. And she may not know that, but I was a 22-year-old kid trying to figure out what I wanted to do in the world. And I realized in that moment, I may not know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew how I wanted to talk to people. I knew how I wanted to approach people. And that leads into my second point. My second point is about being inspired. And you know, Larissa did a great job talking about it. I met her about 17 years ago when she gave that story the first time. You know, we all inspire each other. But when I look around this room, I'm inspired. And I'm not inspired just because, you know, I work with students every day. I'm watching high school kids graduate high school, being the first in their family. I see that all the time. And that's an amazing thing. But you know what else I see? I see people from the business community supporting OIC. I see funders supporting OIC. I see family friends supporting OIC. I see people that believe in this organization right here and this woman and her staff. I see that, and that inspires me. As a nonprofit director, that's what I want people to think about. I want them to understand that these programs have value, they have outcomes, but at the end of the day, they are really moving the needle to change the lives of the people they affect. And you, by being in this room on a Friday night at 6 o'clock showing up, you're inspiring. You inspire me because at the end of the day, you didn't have to come here tonight, but you chose to come here tonight. You didn't have to donate, but you chose to donate tonight. And that's an important thing. That can't get lost. As we go through our days of the daily life and we work with our kids and we deal with some crazy stuff every now and then, we gotta always put the things in perspective, what really matter. What really matters is a community like New Britain, we do a great job of supporting each other when it's time to support each other. And that is something that we shouldn't just be proud of tonight. That is something that we should be proud of every night that we exist in this city. Because that's something that we have that is unique to us. And at the end of the day, that is all that really matters in this world. It's a big family. We always talk about Pathways as a family. New Britain's a big family. Our communities are, we're our partners, we're community partners, we're family with each other. We love being able to help each other. And I know who we love more than anything. And I know this, and I know Paulette loves it, and I know my friends at HRI, my friends at the Y Dubs, I know all you guys love it. We love when our kids succeed. There is not a thing better in this world. I knew a long time ago, I'm getting into a profession where I'm not gonna make a lot of money. I knew that. I was well aware. My mom was a social worker, okay? So I get how little, I get social service, they ain't getting paid, I get that, all right? But at the same time, I realized, and I said to people, I said to a United Way thing one time, someone says, well, you know, you're working at this thing, you're never gonna make money. I said, if it's all about making money, we're in the wrong thing here, people. Yeah, we're in the wrong business. If you're in the social service and you're in the youth development business to make money, you're in the wrong business. You gotta be in it to make the world better. Because tomorrow, the next day, the next year, who knows what it is, that's your success. And that's what matters to all of us. So I say, in closing, I say to you all, thank you for coming tonight. Please come again next year. Please support my organization. Can't say that without a general plug. But the truth is, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about support, it's about love, and it's about family. And that's something that OIC does, and that's something that Pathways does, and that's something the New Britain community does, and I'm very proud to be part of it. And again, I am humbled, to the umpteenth degree and honor that, Paula, you even thought of me for this award. So thank you all very much, and thank you guys all very much. It's an absolute pleasure.